Hello, my name is Sabrina Parsons-Hang, and I am a first-year doctorate student at St. Mary's University, Twin Cities, in their Doctorate of Business Administration program. This presentation is about investing in the business economy of Qatar. Qatar is often pronounced as Qatar or gutter in Old English terms, to Qatar among TV newscasters, Qatar, and Qatir. This presentation's overview summary is as follows. We're going to take a quick look at the maps of Qatar to see the exact location and neighboring countries. Is Qatar a developing nation? Some interesting facts, a little bit of history, cultural, political, and economic factors, risks and opportunities of doing business in Qatar, some challenges facing the business economy. We're going to do a quick comparison with Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, two neighboring countries to Qatar. A quick screenshot of Doing Business 2020 for both Bahrain and Saudi Arabia. And the National Human Development Report, the NHDR 2030 for Qatar. Go over some recommendations and then references for further research. Looking at the maps of Qatar, we see that Qatar is located right here in the Persian Gulf and Arabian Sea with neighboring countries of Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. Is Qatar a developing country? According to the UN Development Program, the Human Development Index is 0.848. Qatar is currently ranked 41 out of 189. Unfortunately, I was unable to get the poverty index or the population vulnerable to the multidimensional poverty. According to the World Bank, Qatar is a high-income country with a GNI per capita of 61,150. Qatar is the fifth largest gas producer, the second largest gas exporter, and the largest liquefied natural gas (LNG) exporter in the world. While conducting research, there was some interesting facts that I found about Qatar that are affecting their current business economy. In regards to plant and animal life, vegetation is found only in the north where the country's irrigated farming areas are located and where desert plants blossom during the spring rains. There is currently an implemented program to protect the Arabian oryx, which is Qatar's national animal. People, the Arabic is the official language and most Qataris speak a dialect of Gulf Arabic. Modern Standard Arabic is taught in schools. English is commonly used, although Persian and Urdu are often spoken. Islam is the official religion in Qatar. Qataris are largely Muslims. There is a small Shiite minority. And then women have more freedom in Qatar than in neighboring countries such as Saudi Arabia and Bahrain. The non-Qatari population has a more diverse religious makeup, which includes Muslims, Christians, and Hindus. Population has been steadily growing despite a markedly low death rate. Qatar's low birth rate has led to a rate of natural increase that is slightly lower than the world's average. However, migration rate is the highest of any country in the Persian Gulf region and the third highest in the world. Males outnumber females more than 3 to 1. Qatar Peninsula is 100 miles from north to south and 50 miles from east to west. Their relief and drainage is a flat, low-lying desert. They have hills that rise to about 130 feet along the western and northern coasts. Sand dunes and salt flats are the chief topographical feature of the southern and southeastern sectors. In regards to soils, their soils are marked by a small degree of organic matter and are generally calcareous and agriculturally unproductive. Wind-blown sand dunes are common, and soil distribution over bedrock is light and uneven. From June to September, Daytime temperatures can reach as high as 122 degrees Fahrenheit. Spring and fall months, which include April, May, October, and November, average around 63 degrees, with winters slightly cooler. Precipitation is scarce. Qatar has less than 3 inches that fall annually. A little bit of history about Qatar. A couple of alternative titles: the Dalat Qatar or the State of Qatar. For the location, Qatar is an independent emirate on the west coast of the Persian Gulf. Its capital is Al Doha. Current Prime Minister of Qatar is Khalifa bin Abdul Aziz Al Thani, and I apologize for messing up the name. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it, but he has been in office since January 28, 2020, so very recent. Currency in Qatar is a Qatari rial, which is equal to 0.27 US dollars. For the government, they have an absolute monarchy. A couple of human development indicators. Life expectancy in Qatar is 80.1 years old. Education is currently at 12.2. There is an income composition of resources, so the GNI per capita is 110,489. There's a couple inequalities that I found. Income held by the richest 1% is 29.0. Life expectancy has an inequality of 5.7. And then inequality in education is equal to 11.8. For the Gender Development Index, or the GDI, is 1.043. Homicide rate, 0.4 per 100,000 people. And then some trade and financial flow percentages. Exports and imports, 88.3. Foreign direct investment, negative 1.1%. And then we have the private capital listed as 5.7%. A little bit more on the human development factors or indicators for the mobility and communication. This is what I found interesting. Internet users is at 99.7%. However, one of the challenges that is facing Qatar is electricity. Not all areas in Qatar have electricity or have access to electricity. So that was quite interesting that 99.7% of the population are internet users. International inbound tourists, 2,257. Environmental sustainability, so carbon dioxide emissions per capita is 29.8. Fossil fuel energy consumption, 100%. There's currently 2.8 million people in Qatar. Median age is 32.3. Urban population, 99.1%. And then socioeconomic sustainability, skilled labor force is currently at 43.9%. Continuing on and looking at the risks and opportunities of doing business in Qatar. So some risks: high levels of bureaucracy. Foreign investment is restricted in some sectors. Payment delays. The most important factor is price, not quality. Expensive rents for both businesses and private residents. Lack of transparency in the market. Severe bribery and corruption, both in the political side and economic side. They have a very highly competitive market. Strict import restrictions. Some business opportunities: agriculture, health, education, tourism, consultative and technical work services, information and technology sectors, and the development of natural resources. All right, looking at the rankings for Qatar, the highest rank that we have on here is protecting minority investors, with the lowest rank being registering property and then paying taxes. Some other high numbers that we have, resolving insolvency, getting credit, trading across borders. However, Qatar received very low numbers in dealing with construction permits and getting electricity. Their DB overall rank is 77 with a DB score of 68.7. Some challenges currently facing Qatar in the different sectors. For social, huge demand pressures on existing social infrastructures, which will include schools, hospitals, and low-cost housing. For cultural sectors, increased potential for traditional Qatari Arab and Islamic cultural values and the identity to be diluted. Economic, if for any reason large numbers of expatriates suddenly leave Qatar, not only will their productivity capabilities be lost and projects be delayed, but a secondary decrease to the economy will occur when their spending is lost. For environmental, significant environmental degradation is occurring. For example, increased road traffic, heavy vehicles, CO2 emissions, and this will continue until infrastructure can be increased to match the needs of the population and the behavioral pattern changes. For safety, reputational risk associated with occupational health and safety, building safety may be compromised, road traffic accidents and injuries could increase, and the capacity of criminal justice and other institutions could be strained. Looking at a comparison between Qatar and Saudi Arabia, Qatar, as of July 2018, it had 2.36 million people, but currently it is actually at 2.8 million. And then Saudi Arabia's population is 33 million as of July 2018. Both Qatar and Saudi Arabia have an absolute monarchy government. Independence, Qatar gained independence from the UK September 3rd, 1971, while Saudi Arabia was a unification for independence on September 23rd, 1932. Saudi Arabia has a smaller public debt, but a higher external debt, as well as higher exports and revenues. Both Qatar and Saudi Arabia are considered high-income countries. They have similar unemployment rates as well. Looking at the doing business in Saudi Arabia 2020, Saudi Arabia has a DB rank of 62 with a DB score of 71.6. Lowest number is paying taxes, so like Qatar, and then low numbers overall in Saudi Arabia compared to Qatar. Also a high income country like stated before. I did a second comparison between Qatar and Bahrain. Once again, the current population in Qatar is 2.8 million compared to Bahrain, which is a little over 1.4 million. They both have monarchy governments. Government in Qatar, absolute monarchy, and the government in Bahrain, constitutional. Very close independence. They both received independence from the UK. Qatar on September 3rd, 1971, and Bahrain on August 15th, 1971. Okay. And then doing business in Bahrain 2020. So yet again, also a high income country. A DB rank of 43 with a DB score of 76. So low number, paying taxes again. We have a couple high numbers. So getting credit is a pretty high number. Trading across borders is a pretty high number. And then we're looking at starting a business is also up there. Some recommendations. Going through the recommendations, the very first recommendation I see to enhance the business economy in Qatar would be to resolve the air, land, and sea blockage that was imposed on Qatar back in 2017 and is actually currently in effect. It was imposed on Qatar by 4 Arab countries, so Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, and Egypt. Qatar was accused of terrorism and therefore These 4 Arab countries will not do any business with Qatar, which is obviously impacting them significantly. A couple other recommendations: strengthening women's empowerment, reducing the inequalities, enhancing international cooperation, extending social benefits to older persons, continuous expansion of Qatar's airways, so that would bring in a lot of revenue, prioritizing foreign direct investment or FDI, and then focusing on the economic reforms related to labor laws, special economic zones, and higher foreign ownership limits. I wanted to touch briefly on the National Human Development Report, so the NHDR 2030. This is actually Qatar's 4th Human Development Report. It emphasizes national and international consensus that development entails more than seeking economic growth. It also provides a framework whereby international experience and lessons learned can assist in its efforts to achieve development that balance social, economic, and environmental dimensions. A couple other things regarding the NHDR. Development in all its aspects is a right and not simply a meeting of needs. Individuals should be the subject of and active participants in their own development and that of society as a whole. So with that, I believe that the Human Development Report, so the NHDR for 2030, which is actually still in effect, it focuses more on the people participating, the people having a voice, rather than just economic growth. There's a lot more to economic growth than just development. I'll go more into that in my paper, but I just wanted to give a brief highlight on that report. And then these are my references for additional research. Thank you very much for your time.